Everyone. I am Lisa Galvin, and I created the Mindful Mindy game that you can find on Construct or on the itch.io website. So just a quick game overview. You will play the role of Mindy as she navigates through her normal Monday routine. So the main character, Mindy, is a high school student. She wakes up with the sun, goes to school, then goes to work, then will return home finally to then sit down and complete homework to then go to sleep and then wake up the next day to repeat it all over again. So throughout that day, you'll run into many stress-inducing situations, just like you would if you're a high school student, where the only way you can continue throughout your day is to learn stress management techniques and use them correctly. So this game is set up as a top-down adventure game set in Mindy's normal settings, such as school, work, and home. Challenge yourself to see if you can learn life-altering stress management techniques and use them properly to successfully make it through Mindy's day. So the core loop, how you're going to play this game. So again, as I mentioned, it is set up like an adventure game. So with Mindy as your main character, you will move her through the different environments using the keyboard arrow. So left goes left, right arrow goes right, same for up and down. When you are moving around the room, you're exploring her different settings. She will bump into stress-inducing scenarios that would be normal in a school or work or home environment. So all this is going to be very applicable to many people, but I mainly created this game in mind for high school students. So that's why this setting works so well. The stress meter then, the assessment basically shows you, so the assessment, sorry, is the stress meter that will show up on the screen. So when you bump into these stress inducing scenarios, that stress meter, think of it like a thermometer. The higher it is, the higher the stress level she is at. So when she bumps into these scenarios, her stress levels are going to be super high on the stress meter. To be able to bring her stress levels down on the meter, you will then be prompted to complete the stress management techniques. So there's a few techniques that you're going to be learning. One of them will be the box breathing. So when that pops up, you'll hit the bubbles using your mouse. Meditate is another form of stress management. Again, you'll hit the bubbles using the mouse. That way you're not stressing out the players. It's something they've already done before, they're familiar with, and hopefully they're learning to meditate at the same time. And then eating healthy is another form of stress management. So with this, when you run into it, you'll just catch healthy foods using the arrows on your keyboard to get to the food that is healthy. So the learning objective is that after playing the game, the learner will be able to analyze which stress management technique will work best for different situations, because they're not all going to be the same. And sometimes there's going to be a few of them that you would use, and then complete them in the correct order. So knowing how to carry out those stress management techniques, that is the big takeaway from this game. So learning them, analyzing which one to use, and then how are you going to use them. So the learning game. So how is this a learning game? So as I mentioned before, with the assessment being the stress meter level showing you. So when it lowers, you know that you are completing the stress management technique properly. If it's high, then you know you are not. And same goes for the end of her day. You want to get to the end of her day and have that stress meter being low. So that's kind of the assessment, and also the scoring of this game is that if you keep that meter low, then you have successfully completed those stress management techniques. If not, it will still be high at the end of the day, and you will want to go back and repeat some of those. So in the game, while in the classroom, Mindy will bump into an object that will then prompt a pop-up quiz, but it will be blurry. So this is just an example in the game itself. So that blurry quiz will indicate that Mindy's stress level is high, along with that stress meter rising. Again, that thermometer is going to be up high. The player will then have to successfully complete the box breathing stress management techniques using the mouse. To demonstrate that the learner has achieved the learning objective, in this scenario, the player will then return to the pop-up quiz screen, which will now be legible and show Mindy's stress level has lowered. So you want it to be low throughout the day and at the end of the day. If it is still high, you've not completed it successfully. The goal is to make it to the end of Mindy's day with the levels on her stress meter low. Looking at Gee's Empower Learning principles, the ones that apply to my game that I created, you have the identity principle, which is basically that the player is able to identify with the characters in the game. So I created this game with high school students in mind, and the main character in this game is a high school student as well. So they will be able to personalize, identify with her really well because they go through this on a day-to-day basis, school, work, sports, homework. So that identity principle is a key role in Mindful Mindy. Gee's other empowered learning principle that is applicable in my game is the cycle of expertise. You are teaching, so cycle of expertise is teaching new ideas or things that need to be learned as the first step, and then the students be able to do it as the second step. So similar to that in the game, they're going to learn these stress management techniques, then apply them in the game to bring the stress levels down. And then later on in the game, when another stress management or stress scenario pops up, they'll be able to recall that stress management technique. So the box breathing, for example, and they'll be able to repeat the same actions they did earlier because they now know how to complete them. And in some circumstances, they'll be analyzing which stress technique they will use and then applying it. So the credits for the game design itself is myself, Lisa Galpin, and I used a lot of resources, YouTube videos to help me get to the point that I got to for my prototype. And for this slideshow, I used SlidesGo. Okay. Now I'm going to show you Mindful Mindy, the prototype that I've gotten done so far. So this first screen is just going to be the introduction screen, which has the title, how to play the game, as I kind of already mentioned, using those arrows to move around, hit the play button. And so now we are in Mindy's classroom. That is the first setting that you'll be in. You can move left, right to explore the room. If I were to further this game, I would add a lot more stress-inducing scenarios within this classroom itself. And I obviously need to fix, I don't know why she keeps inverting. Okay, so I'm going to bump into the first stress scenario. Oh no, it looks like Mindy is experiencing high stress levels, making it so that she can't see the quiz. Quick, help Mindy bring her stress levels down so that she can see the quiz. So right now it is blurry. The stress meter level would be really high over here. That's where I would put that, hit the play button. And then now we're going to do the bubbles for the box breathing. So using my mouse, I'm going to click the bubbles and follow the box breathing prompts as well. And then if I complete it successfully, again, it would bring me back to this quiz screen, but now it is clear. So I've lowered her stress levels to when she would then be able to take the quiz. And the stress level meter would be over here to the side. And instead of it being high, it would now be low. Thank you guys. I look forward to hearing what you like about the game, what insights you have for future development. Have a great day.